Welcome to Outdoor Oasis Ideas. Today's video focuses on an inspiring topic: container garden ideas using recycled containers. Container gardening is not only a fantastic way to add beauty to your home, but also an eco-friendly approach that allows for creativity and resourcefulness, perfect for creating a rustic, fragrant flower garden feel using charming wooden or recycled containers. The beauty of container gardening lies in its versatility. Almost any container can be transformed into a charming planter. Old buckets, tin cans, rustic wooden crates, and even repurposed furniture can all serve as unique homes for your flowers. Before diving into planting, it's essential to consider the types of containers that will work best for your space. Drainage is crucial for the health of your plants, so be sure to choose containers with holes, or make your own if necessary. If using materials that don't naturally have drainage, especially with certain recycled containers, consider lining the bottom with pebbles or rocks to facilitate water flow. One of the most popular options for container gardening is using old wooden crates. These inherently rustic containers can add a touch of charm to any garden space, perfect for achieving that fragrant country garden look. They can be stacked for vertical gardening, allowing for a variety of flowers to grow in a single area. Consider planting trailing flowers like petunias or lobelia over the edges for a cascading effect, while placing taller blooms such as sunflowers or zinnias in the center. Filling these wooden containers with fragrant varieties enhances the rustic appeal. The combination of heights and textures will create a dynamic visual display that draws the eye. Another creative option is to use tin cans. These inexpensive recycled containers can be painted or decorated to match your garden's theme. After cleaning the cans, use a hammer and nail to make drainage holes in the bottom. Fill them with potting soil and plant your favorite annuals or fragrant herbs. Consider grouping several decorated cans together on a windowsill or hanging them from a fence to create a charming vertical garden. The metallic finish adds a modern touch, though they can be painted to fit a more rustic theme, while the plants offer a burst of color and life. Repurposed furniture offers yet another avenue for container gardening. Old dressers, tables, or even wheelbarrows can be transformed into unique planters. For instance, an old wooden dresser can be converted into a vertical garden by removing the drawers and filling the remaining space with soil and flowers. This not only maximizes planting area, but also creates an eye-catching, often quite rustic, centerpiece for your garden. When it comes to choosing plants for your recycled containers, consider selecting a mix of flowers and foliage for visual interest. Vibrant blooms like marigolds, geraniums, and petunias can provide a pop of color, while adding fragrant varieties like stock or alyssum can enhance the sensory experience of your rustic garden. Leafy plants like ferns and hostas add texture and depth. Herbs such as basil, mint, and rosemary can also be included, offering both beauty, fragrance, and functionality. The combination of flowering plants and greenery will create a lush, inviting providing atmosphere that enhances your outdoor space. Incorporating vertical elements into your container garden can also maximize space and add dimension. Use trellises or stakes, perhaps crafted from rustic wood branches, to support climbing plants like sweet peas or morning glories, allowing them to grow upward and create a stunning display. Hanging baskets, even simple recycled ones, are another excellent way to utilize vertical space, offering an opportunity to showcase trailing plants that soften hard surfaces. Consider mixing trailing and upright plants, including fragrant options, in your hanging baskets for a fuller, more dynamic look. Color coordination is key to creating a harmonious container garden. While it's tempting to plant a variety of colors, consider selecting a cohesive color palette that complements your outdoor space and enhances the rustic feel of your chosen wooden or recycled containers. Soft pastels can create a serene and calming atmosphere, while bold, vibrant hues can energize the area. Using a limited color scheme can help unify your containers, making your garden appear well thought out and intentional. As the seasons change, so too can your container garden. One of the joys of container gardening is the ability to switch out plants as desired. In spring, consider planting pansies and snapdragons for early blooms, while summer can feature vibrant zinnias and sunflowers. As fall approaches, replace summer flowers with ornamental kale, chrysanthemums, and asters to maintain visual interest within your rustic recycled containers. This seasonal rotation allows for fresh looks throughout the year, while keeping your fragrant garden lively and engaging. In addition to aesthetics, maintenance is an essential aspect of container gardening. Regular watering is crucial, especially during hotter months when containers can dry out quickly. Consider using self-watering containers or adding moisture-retentive crystals to the soil to help manage water levels. Fertilizing your plants every few weeks will also promote healthy growth and blooming. A balanced, slow-release fertilizer can provide essential nutrients and support vibrant foliage and flowers, keeping your rustic wooden or recycled container garden thriving. The beauty of container gardening lies in its flexibility. Anyone can transform everyday items into charming planters, allowing for a unique and personalized touch. As we dive deeper into this gardening trend, consider the types of containers that can be repurposed. Old wooden pallets can be disassembled and used to create wonderfully rustic vertical gardens, providing ample space for a variety of plants. By stacking sections of pallets and filling them with soil, a cascading garden effect can be achieved, perfect for trailing flowers like ivy or nasturtiums. Another innovative approach is using glass jars and bottles. These transparent recycled containers not only provide a visually striking way to display plants, but also allow for creative arrangements. Fill jars with layers of colorful stones, soil, and small plants like succulents or air plants for a charming centerpiece. Hanging glass globes can be filled with small fragrant flowers or herbs, creating an ethereal and enchanting effect in any garden or patio setting. When selecting plants for your recycled containers, consider incorporating a mix of textures and colors to create visual interest. Succulents are a popular choice for container gardens due to their low maintenance and diverse varieties. They thrive in well-draining soil and require minimal watering, making them ideal for busy gardeners. Pairing succulents with colorful annuals or perennials can create a striking contrast, adding depth and vibrancy to your rustic or modern recycled container garden. In addition to flowers and foliage, consider incorporating edible plants into your container garden. Herbs such as basil, mint, and thyme not only provide culinary benefits, but also add wonderful fragrance and beauty to your space. Planting a combination of herbs and flowers in the same rustic wooden or recycled container can create a stunning and functional display. For example, a container filled with lavender, rosemary, and marigolds can attract pollinators while offering fresh, fragrant herbs for cooking. One effective technique to enhance the aesthetic appeal of your container garden is to create thriller, filler, and spiller arrangements. This design principle involves selecting one tall plant as the focal point, the thriller, a few medium-height plants to fill in, the filler, and trailing plants that spill over the edges of the container, the spiller. This layered approach creates a dynamic and visually engaging composition that draws the eye and adds depth to your rustic recycled container garden. As you cultivate your container garden, consider the importance of seasonal planting. One of the joys of container gardening is the ability to change plants with the seasons. In spring, vibrant pansies and cheerful daffodils can brighten up your space, while summer offers the chance to showcase bold sunflowers and zinnias in your rustic containers. As autumn arrives, consider replacing summer blooms with rich-colored chrysanthemums and ornamental peppers. This seasonal rotation allows for fresh looks throughout the year, keeping your fragrant garden lively and engaging. Incorporating vertical gardening techniques can maximize space and create an eye-catching focal point. Use recycled materials such as old wooden ladders or trellises to support climbing plants like peas or cucumbers. These vertical structures can add height and dimension to your garden, enhancing its rustic charm and making it more visually appealing. Additionally, hanging planters can make the most of limited space, allowing for a stunning display of flowers that draws the eye upward. Color coordination plays a crucial role in creating a harmonious container garden. While it may be tempting to plant a variety of colors, selecting a cohesive color palette can create a more intentional and visually appealing look, especially when aiming for a specific rustic aesthetic with your wooden or recycled containers. Soft pastels can evoke a sense of calm, while bold, vibrant colors can energize the space. Consider using a limited color scheme with varying shades of a single color for a sophisticated and elegant effect. As the garden grows, maintenance becomes essential to ensure the health and vitality of your plants. Regular watering is crucial, especially during hot summer months when containers can dry out quickly. Employing self-watering containers or adding moisture-retentive crystals to the soil can help manage water levels effectively. Fertilizing your plants regularly with a balanced, slow-release fertilizer will promote healthy growth and abundant blooms, ensuring a thriving rustic container garden. As the seasons progress, consider how to adapt your container garden to embrace seasonal changes. Incorporating new annuals and perennials can keep your garden fresh and vibrant. This is also an opportunity to experiment with different plant combinations, focusing on fragrance and colors that complement your rustic wooden or recycled containers, allowing for creative expression and innovation in your design. Creating themed container gardens can add an extra layer of creativity to your gardening practice. Consider developing a butterfly garden with colorful nectar-rich and often fragrant flowers such as lantana, coneflower, and milkweed, which attract these beautiful pollinators, happily housed in charming recycled containers. Alternatively, a herb garden featuring a variety of culinary herbs can provide both beauty and practicality for the kitchen. Mixing fragrant flowers with herbs in rustic wooden boxes can create a sensory experience that delights the senses and adds functionality to your garden. Another inspiring theme is the shade garden. For areas with limited sunlight, use recycled containers, perhaps painted wood or repurposed items, filled with shade-loving plants such as ferns, hostas, and impatiens to create a lush green oasis. Combining different varieties with varying leaf shapes and colors can create a visually stunning display that thrives in low-light conditions. This approach not only enhances the beauty of shaded areas, but also maximizes the use of available space with a potentially cool, rustic vibe. Consider the use of color and texture when designing your themed gardens. Mixing different plant shapes and sizes can create a more dynamic and visually interesting garden. For example, pairing the delicate feathery foliage of ferns with the broad leaves of hostas can create a striking contrast that adds depth to your container arrangements within their rustic wooden or recycled homes. Additionally, incorporating flowering plants, including fragrant ones where possible, with varying bloom sizes and shapes, can enhance the visual interest of your themed garden. If you love exploring new ways to enhance your outdoor space, don't miss out. Subscribe to Outdoor Oasis Ideas for the latest tips, inspiration, and creative projects.